Hello, William Bloom.
Hi there.
Good to be speaking with you today. You're actually considered as one of the top UK's teachers and authors and healers. So it's really a privilege to be speaking with you today. I know
Well,
you're the
thank.
and you also have a foundation, the Foundation for Holistic Spirituality and Holistic Maps. Is that right?
Foundation for Holistic Spirituality, and we do a service which maps all holistic activities in the UK. Yes.
So there's one thing I just want to be clear of. How do you define spirituality, first of all?
There's a phrase that I've learnt to use over the last few years, and I use it in mainstream situations as well as with people who are already into spirituality. And this is a phrase that you can use in education and in healthcare. And the phrase is, see if you like it, spirituality is everybody's natural connection with the wonder and energy of life.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's natural connection with the wonder and energy of life. Now, if you want to call the wonder and energy of life God or Spirit or the Tao or Goddess, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're more kind of agnostic or more shamanic or more pagan or more Wicca, you're just as equally happy with just the wonder and energy of life.
Mm-hmm. And isn't part of spirituality also this growth or this evolution within ourselves and our relationship to that source?
That is the next step, yes. But I think in the first place, just as I work in this area all the time, and I think in the first place, I'd rather pull people back and say, hey, are you connected? Are you connected to the wonder and energy of life? Because if you're not connected to the wonder and energy of life, you're not going to be able to do your growth.
Right.
You're not going to be able to do your development. You're not going to be able to align with your highest values and live a life of service, of compassion. So I kind of put in there in the first place, connect. So if somebody says to me they're spiritual, what interests me in the first place is, oh, really? How do you do it? Where do you get your buzz? How do you connect? And so a Christian priest might say, I do it while I'm taking communion. A pagan might say, well, I'm out walking in landscape. A mother might say, when I'm with my children. Another ordinary man might say, well, actually, I connect most easily when I'm playing golf or fixing my engine on my motorbike.
So it has a lot to do with being conscious then of that when we're doing those activities. Because what you're saying is that we can find that in every single moment, everywhere.
Yeah, but I tell you, I think being conscious of it is the second step. I think you need to identify, first of all, where it works for you.
Okay.
Because like most people, I speak for myself, I speak for most of us.
Yeah.
We get up, we get lost in our thoughts, we get lost in brushing our teeth, we get lost in who am I going to speak to on the Skype link today. The mind is off, the television is on, there's media, there's, how do I look in the mirror? And to actually, and yet at the same time you may have a sense of a background hum of being connected to Spirit and being connected to God. And that background hum may get louder for you when you listen to some music or when you look out of the window at the sky. So so my basic understanding of spirituality is everybody's connected all of the time. The issue for us is to notice when it happens most easily for us. And then, as you say, just like you said, then to bring some consciousness to it. Mm. But from my point of view, everybody's connected. So everybody's having...
Yeah, so tell us about the benefits of exploring that spirituality. Or knowing that we're connected.
Well...
And feeling that we're connected.
Yeah, well, the difference is between living inside a little bubble that is, what's my status? How much am I earning? How good are my relationships? Do I look beautiful? Have I got enough money? Does my boss like me? Do my employees like me? This is what my life is about. I will only feel okay when I've got enough money. I will only feel okay when my relationships are working out. this is me. That's one way of living. And there's another way of living, which is, I live on this extraordinary planet, in this extraordinary universe. There's blood pumping through me. How does that mystery work? I've got energy inside me. Where does that energy come from? I'm alive. This is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've got that second one going, I'm alive. It's fantastic. I'm connected. I'm part of this extraordinary universe. Then that provides a completely different context for how my relationship's going. Where's my status at? Have I got enough money? Because that all becomes a tiny little concern compared to the much greater context. So that's the first thing. It provides a complete, a much more balanced, and it is cosmic, but it's also nature-based. But you're not fully alive. You're just simply not fully alive unless you have that awareness. Don't you think?
Do you think there needs to be a certain kind of awakening within the spiritual community, within the people that tell themselves that they are spiritual?
Listen, this is a very, very sensitive and interesting area, and we need to tread carefully. The reason it's so interesting is because we're in the middle of a huge cultural change in which we're reinventing religion, reinventing spirituality. Mm-hmm. For the last 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000 years, religion and spirituality have been mainly held by very large organizations managed by men, whether it's Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, in which these organizations created oases of peace and harmony and set very, very clear ethics and values for their peoples. And at the same time, especially with Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and Hinduism and Buddhism, and not outside of this, have been the source of conflict. And Christianity, for all the beauties of its message, has been the source of inquisition and warfare and crusades. And now we're in a global era when individuals are saying, look, I like Jesus, I like Buddha, I like Muhammad, I like these people, but I don't want to give my power away. And I do want to enable and empower myself to develop myself and my own spirituality. And that is fantastic. And so what we've got, in the same way as Wikipedia has created a knowledge base for free based on many, many individuals doing good work for nothing, we've also created a new spirituality where it's no longer big organizations selling a particular product. It's thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of individuals, each opting in a way that best suits them. But we're also human. And one of the big problems is in the West, which is developing this new kind of spirituality, is we're consumers. And we're a culture of consumers caught in loads of Hollywood and TV stories about what's good for us, getting things quickly, what status is. And that's, unfortunately, that whole consumerism, the whole narrative for a human being of what success is getting mashed in, to use an IT word, is getting mashed in to contemporary spirituality. So the big job for us at the moment, and it's early stages of our culture, the big job for us at the moment, I think, is to somehow or other separate out. Here's the beauty of contemporary spirituality: individual freedom, self-management, personal connection with God, the mystery. And along with that package, there's high, high values. Spirituality and religion are as the citadel for high values of living a life of compassion and of love. Spirituality needs to be that citadel of love and compassion. We need to notice that some get-rich-quick stories and find your perfect partner and get successful, and material success is the same as spiritual success, has got merged in. Now, that's understandable. And we need to begin to separate them out and say, look, if you want to do personal development for success, fine, but don't call that spirituality. That is personal development for success. If doing personal development for success, you want to use some energy healing strategies to do with the power of thought and the charisma and magnetism of who you are. Okay, maybe, but don't call that spirituality. That's you using energy work, metaphysics, to get what you want. We need to have the two separated out, and we need to have a conversation about it. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you.
Any last message or something that you want to share with us that we haven't talked about and is for you really essential?
I find that a lot of our friends and companions are quite shy about being open about their spirituality. I really encourage them to be a bit more open about the kind of spirituality they're into, because one thing I've gone on about some of the consumerist stuff in our culture, but what we have some wonderful values and assets. In particular, we are so open-hearted to different beliefs. We are so open-minded about the different ways that people can develop their spirituality and meet God and become compassionate. And a lot of our people I have found very sensitive to being rebuffed or made fun of. And they lack a little bit of muscle tone when it comes to having a conversation with a skeptic, whether it's an evangelical or an atheist. And I would like to encourage our friends and companions to be a little bit more robust and a little bit more proud about their spirituality. I think we've yet to come fully out of the closet. I think we're in a similar stage to the gay movement a couple of decades ago, the feminist movement 30 years ago, that those of us who are fairly thoughtful about our spirituality need to be more articulate, clear, and more assertive, and we need to tell clearly the world that this is an intelligent and mature and open-minded, open-hearted way of exploring life.
And a natural one. And a normal one to have these days. Yeah. I mean, it's just, yeah.
100%. 100% I agree with you.
Yeah.
Natural and normal.
Yeah. And that's why I'm touring around the US actually all next year, to have those conversations with as many people as possible and just show how magical life becomes and how beautiful it is and how, juicy and fulfilling and it's a beautiful way of living, and why live any other way? And I don't want to convince anybody. I just want to, to show the magic of life and the conversations that can happen and naturally and effortlessly when we're connected.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, it was great to talk to you. I really appreciated that, and your presence is definitely just healing in itself. So thank you.
Okay. Lots of love to you.
Lots of love to you too.